I want to go back. He wants to go back. I want to go back to the farm, far away from home, with a milk pail on my arm. I miss the rooster, the one that used to wake me up at 4 a.m. down on the farm.
I'm Scott Boehm. They call me the old farmer. I worked on getting a dust port on my shaper by going up right above the router bit, thinking that the secondary one where Grizzly has it designed, where it comes off the back. Well, the one over the router bit there, I don't think is quite strong enough to take care of everything, so I want to build a second port on the back, and I'm showing where it's at with the yellow square. I want to cover that up and have some PVC pipe there coming out to couple it to the exhaust vent. You can see it a little bit better in this picture. I tried it once with a board just to see how it would work, and it got quite a bit of dust back there, so I knew it was going to be a major issue, and so I wanted to build something that would pull the dust out of that area. I'm building a template, and this is going to be used for cutting a piece of aluminum sheeting to fit that back area there. And this is the first time I've ever done something like this. I've never cut aluminum on a saw like this before, but it went quite easy, no problems. I had it scored so that I knew how to cut it. And luckily, the height of it, not the width, but the height was close enough that I didn't have to trim that side. So I wanted to take the burrs off of everything so I don't cut myself, round the corners a little bit, to get everything in place so that I can handle it safely and you don't tear any hide doing this. So I'm just going through and taking all the burrs off so it's smooth. And it just took a couple of minutes. Now I'm taking the template, putting it over the top for drawing the screw holes. And to be perfectly honest, I didn't do this as accurately as I could have. I thought I did, but I didn't. So I'm drilling the holes in the piece of aluminum where the template said it was supposed to go. And they were off by a little bit. And so I had to lengthen the holes just a little bit to make them fit. Not the prettiest job in the world, but you know, I never got into this stuff back on the farm when I was growing up. Pretty much what I did was build fences and gates and woodworking stuff. I never did anything that even needed sanding. It just was raw mill stock, and maybe you painted it with some oil or whatever. Now the hole that I cut in the aluminum, the circular blade wobbled a little bit more than what I thought, so I had to make a sleeve on both sides of it so that it would cover up, make it the way it should be. Now I'm just kind of trying it out a little bit with a piece of cherry, a scrap piece of cherry. Now I'm not so much worried about doing a fantastic router on this. I just want to get a little bit more familiar with using the tool. I don't have the feet down, it's just sitting on the mobile base, and we showed how we did that in a previous video. And so I'm adjusting things a little bit. I didn't have it quite right. The right whip guide was forward a little bit, and it caused me a little bit of a problem. Took me a minute or two to figure out what it was. Again, it's just getting familiar with the tool and understanding how it works. So after several passes where I slowly raised the router bit, I went through and adjusted the back of the right rip guide. And you can see it rocking back and forth a little bit. As I said, this is just to test how it dealt with the sawdust. And so I wasn't real concerned about the quality of the routing. I just wanted to see if there's enough suck through the system I put together to pull the dust out. Now with a system like this, and also for a vacuum sweeper, you're really not using suck to pull the air through. You're using airflow to move things. Vacuum sweeper, for example, you have a beater brush that sits there and beats the carpet, that vibrates the dirt up, and then there's airflow that pulls it into the bag of the vacuum sweeper. And that's the way this works too. In fact, I had a shop vac on it, and that's how I'm powering the dust collection on it. Again, it's just trying things out one step at a time and seeing if I can get this working properly. Am I close enough to what I need to make things a little bit better? I just kind of have things tacked together. Later on down the road, you'll see that I actually used painter's tape, the blue painter's tape, to hold the hose to the PVC fitting. I'm adjusting the right rip guide right now to go back just about a millimeter. It wasn't much at all. But I'm getting to understand how the shaper works. I only had used a router back in my 20s a couple of times, and then a little bit ago I made some a project using a router, and I had shown my project on another video. So this is all new territory for me, and I understand it. And making things look as good as what the woodworkers do that you see, like the Wood Whisperer and Stumpy Nubs and other people like that. I'm not up to that level, and I admit it. I'd like to get up there, that's for sure, but it's going to take time. It's going to take practice, and I will understand when I make mistakes. That's going to be part of the learning curve. When I make a mistake, it's disappointing, but yet it also gives me the ability to how not to do something. I'm surprised how noisy the bits are when it hits the wood. And I'm just raising it like a 1/16 of an inch. I'm not raising it much. And the reason why I'm backing up and going over part of it again is because my error was I allowed it to pull away from the rip guide. So I needed to do that part again. And again, it's just practicing with a piece of equipment. And now I'm looking to see how much sawdust is left behind. Now, where the router bit is, and that's where the rip guides are, not too bad. This is where I was really concerned because of all the openings on it. And it did a very good job of pulling the sawdust out. It's running through something like a 2.5-inch hose off the PVC connection, and then it goes to the smaller hose that you find on a typical shop vac these days. And I'm using that as a generic term, not a brand name. You can see the yellow arrow where the blue painter's tape is. That's how I'm holding it onto the PVC exhaust pipe. But of course, that's just to try it out to see if I have enough airflow to pull the sawdust out, and I do. Now here's a closer look of what I did. I need something like this, only 3 inches up to about 3.5 inches, and that will be what I will replace the painting tape with. I think I succeeded in what I wanted to test out. So this is the old farmer Scott Bames saying, "Be well."
Well, that concludes my video for today. There's a few quick ideas to help you with some of your clamping challenges. I'm Colin Connett for WoodWorkWeb. Thanks for watching.
Down on the farm.